Alright YouTube, today I'm going to be talking about the 1895 Nagant revolver. Now this particular revolver was designed by one of the designers of the Mosin Nagant, so that's kind of neat. These things have a very long service history. They've been in Russian military and police history for a very long time. Very interesting little design, lots of interesting things went into it. One of the main design features about this that makes it so unique is the fact that it is a gas seal revolver. When the hammer is cocked, the cylinder actually forms a gas seal between the barrel and the cylinder, so you don't have any gas loss when the cartridge is fired. And what that did was it basically increased the overall muzzle velocity around 150 to 200 feet per second, which in my opinion, they went through all the trouble to design such a neat revolver, but then what they did was they based it around a really weak cartridge. The cartridge that this gun fires is the 7.62 by 38 rimmed, more commonly known as the 7.62 Nagant cartridge. In its typical military configuration, the cartridge itself is a gas seal cartridge by nature. I'll show a close-up of the cartridge and what it looks like here in a second. But basically, this gun, in fact, is used even to this day. A lot of Russian security guards and people of that nature still carry these guns on a regular basis. So, like the Mosin Nagant, the cartridge and the weapon itself has a very long service history that goes even to today's conflicts. Now, granted, these may not be as common as a lot of the combat weapons you'll see in various places nowadays, but they are out there. These can be had on the surplus market for, if you buy them in bulk, if you buy several units, you can get them for around $65. If you buy a single unit, expect to pay around 90 bucks, maybe 100 tops. These come in a few basic varieties. You have a single action only officer's model, which I have here. This particular example is a 1944 Tula made one. It's single only. You have a soldier's model, which is double action. In fact, this gun being a single action only and still being a 44 production date makes it significantly more rare than some of the others. You will find these revolvers with very, very early production dates in the 1800s. If you can find them that old, it's best to, hold on to them. They're very interesting. If you're going to buy one of these, shop around and find one with a very discreet import mark. This one has a very, very small billboard on the side. It's very hard to see. You'll find the import marks on them on the bottom of the barrel or here on the side of the frame. So let's shoot this little guy. It holds 7 shots. You can get a different cylinder for this. You can fire 32 H&R Magnum, or I believe 32 Smith & Wesson. I'll post a little bullet. I don't remember off the top of my head. You can either convert the cylinder or you can fire those cartridges through this same cylinder. Now granted, the brass will blow out and expand a little bit. You will get some cracked casings, some split casings, but it will work. Generally, it's not recommended that you do that because you always want to fire a cartridge that the gun is designed to shoot, but it will work. Don't expect it to gas seal because the gas sealing is a combination of the design of the pistol and the ammunition being of gas seal variety. And like I said, I'll show you what it looks like here in a minute. Okay. To load this little guy, you just pull the loading lever down like that with the hammer on half cock. Well, not really half cock, but just with the hammer down, the cylinder will rotate. You just take your little gas seal cartridges. See how it's got a little step in the neck? The bullet sits down in there. When the cylinder is pressed forward, it locks in and you don't get any gas pressure releasing. When this fires, of course, that neck blows out. I'll show you that in a second. Just take the little revolver, just put them in there one at a time. Oops. All you gotta do is close your loading gate. And since this model is single action only, you have to cock the hammer to fire it and it's ready to go. If it were double action, all you'd have to do is just squeeze the trigger like a standard double and it would fire like that. there's no safety. Let's shoot it. In terms of the ballistics of this cartridge, it's actually a weakling in the giant scheme of things. Now don't get me wrong, you know, getting shot at it, I'm sure, you know, shot with it, someone's not going to argue with getting shot, as long as the shot placement's dead on. But you'll see that recoil's about like a dang pellet gun. But I've never grouped this gun, so let's see how it groups. I'm just at a typical handgun combat distance of about 8 yards. Let's see how it does. They're hitting down in the dirt, they're low.
That was 7.
All right. To unload this guy, this little guy, all you got to do is open the loading gate, and you can either tap the front of the brass as it expands. It sticks out of the front of the cylinder on the gas seal cartridges a little bit. You can just tap them with your finger, and they'll drop right out. Or you unscrew this little rod, pull it out, swing this little gate over, and you push them out with that. In my opinion, it's a little bit of a pain in the butt. I can't imagine loading this thing in combat. These weapons were more or less intended not really as combat weapons. I mean, you don't go looking for trouble with a gun like this, but this is more of a, you know, personal protection type thing. And based on the way it just grouped, I mean, the accuracy is very poor. I mean, it's really just kind of MOA of man at combat distance. It's not, you know, they had target versions of this gun that I'm sure would group respectably, but so far this thing's grouping pretty crappy. We'll have a look at the groups in a bit. All right, there was a few groups we just shot with the Nagant. As you can see, not very accurate at all. I mean, the way I look at it, on any given gun design, you know, if I take my Colt out and group with it and it puts, you know, 8 shots into 2 inches at 25 yards, but then shoot this at 8 yards and it opens up like that, I mean, it's not really me, it's just the gun. But, you know, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shots, and the other shot that hit high there was probably from this group over here. So you can see it's a pretty consistent spread. I mean, it's pretty much pie plate MOA. You know, like I said, it's person MOA. You know, it's made to defend yourself against someone that's coming right at you. This weapon system, you know, the Nagant, 1895 Nagant was replaced in the 30s by the Tokarev pistol.